Awful, but I'm just so hungry.
What? Come on, man, it's really good.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, man. Good to see you.
Good to see you. How's your trip?
Dude, it was ridiculous. Look, I'll tell you all about it. But first, can we get something to eat because I'm starved?
I know just the place. Come on.
Dude, how good is this pizza?
Oh, man. It's actually awful, but I'm just so hungry.
What? Come on, man, it's really good.
I'm from Chicago. This barely qualifies as pizza.
I mean, we could go eat somewhere else if you want.
No. No, look, man, it's all right. Look, even bad pizza's still pizza. Besides, I can't afford to waste it. I don't even have a job.
That actually reminds me. I saw this ad on campus. I think it might be perfect for it. Yeah, well, anyway, I gotta go. Do you know how to get home?
Yeah, I have my phone.
Cool. I'll see you next week.
Yeah, see ya.
Hey, man.
Oh, hey.
What's wrong?
Nothing, it's just work.
Not panning out.
Well, no, I mean, it has. I mean, I got the job. It's just, I don't know. I didn't want to move to Hollywood to become an actor that's a waiter. It's like, it's just so cliche.
Waiter? Yeah. You saw that paper I gave you?
Yeah, I think so. It says help wanted, looking for a waiter.
You didn't look at the back, did you?
The, what? Up to him. Hello and welcome to Quiet on the Sets. I'm your host, Phil Biedron, and this is our premiere episode. So, we're going to have some fun today. In fact, we're going to start off with a little bit of an opening monologue. So, I'll talk a little bit about myself. I've recently been bulking up. I don't know if you could tell. And by bulking up, I mean I do shop at Costco. See, bulking up is not really a thing anymore because everyone's kind of a hipster now, Instead of the bench press, they're doing the French press. They like to pump irony. I don't know. It's just, it's a little bizarre, right? Last time I got swole, it's because I was stung by a bee and I didn't have my EpiPen. So, no, I am making some gains. It's pretty incredible. I gained 10 pounds in a week and a half. That is like Marlon Brando style gains. I know, it's pretty impressive. How am I doing it? I'm eating a carton of eggs a day. Isn't that incredible? It takes one chicken a month to make those many eggs that I consume in one day, and then I eat that entire chicken that day. That's so existential, it blows my mind. Anyway, what's happening in the world today? Here's a funny story. Chicago Council to vote on Uber. Lyft rules! I think I read that cue card wrong. Chicago Council to vote on Uber Lyft rules. Oh, okay, that's a little bit more clear. Anyway, the city of Chicago is cracking down on Uber and Lyft drivers. They want to enforce chauffeur licenses and more intense background checks, which is completely absurd. They're trying to regulate it so they have the same sort of responsibilities as a taxi cab driver. Well, if that's the case, they better learn a language that no one understands that they could scream into a Bluetooth and take it from A to B in the longest way possible. What else is happening in the news? There was a area man in Pennsylvania, 51 years old, who is being charged for having 12 young women living in his house. Okay, how did this happen? It's ridiculous. There was the neighbor, right? The neighbors gifted gifted their 14-year-old daughter to their neighbor to help them out of financial hardships. And she has mothered 2 of his children. It is incredibly bizarre, and there's no take-backseat, so now this woman is, I guess, married to this guy. It's very bizarre. When I read the story, I thought that she was being gift. You know what a GIF is, right? In fact, I kind of have a funny story about that. I myself am a GIF. In fact, there's a little link below, and you can see pretty much the height of my popularity on everything I've ever done. This has got the most views. College degree, all right. What else is happening in the news? This is incredible. Oklahoma chief of, what's happening in the news? I'm going to kill the cue card guy. The Oakland chief of police has quit after 2 days on the job. What's even more incredible is that he's the 3rd to quit in 8 days. Look, I knew Oakland was dangerous, but damn, right? I mean, RoboCop would put in the 2-week notice. You know what I'm saying? Ethan Hawke training day lasts longer than that. You know. So, what is it? Why are these chief of police quitting after such a short time? Well, they've all said the same thing. It's the illicit prostitution and the racist text messages. Whoa. The racist text messages? You mean to tell me you're quitting because racist text messages? I can understand an emoji in blackface, but come on, a little extreme, right? I never thought I'd say emoji blackface ever in a sentence. Oh, what else? Oh, guys, today is Father's Day. Woo, let's hear it for the father. You know, in honor of that, I've actually had my dad, Andrew Biedron, do my cue cards for the next segment. Okay, so my dad he's a big fan of these puns and these dad jokes, which I'm sure you're all familiar with. So my dad is reviewing Finding Dory. Okay, so I'm just going to read the cue cards as my dad wanted them to be said. Finding Dory made a splash in the box office this weekend. The $55 million the film reeled in is proof that Pixar's sequel is up to scale. A fantastic turnout topped Central Intelligence. The large following of Ellen, who was degenerate enough to reprise her role, which I believe was perfectly cast. The school of humor and adorable emotions that you can expect in Pixar's films. Dad, that was terrible. Thank you so much. I love you, man. Woo! Anyway, that ends it for the monologue. Whoa! Okay, up next, we're going to discuss E3 with the show's showrunner, Robert Reaver. And we're back. Next to me is the showrunner, Robert Reaver. Now, what we're discussing is E3, which happened here in Los Angeles just a couple days ago. Mm-hmm. Now, I went. I know that you went.
Yes.
So let's discuss. What are some of the highlights? What do you want to tell me about E3 that everyone should know?
First thing, Nintendo only brought one game to the conference. This year it was Zelda. Breath of the Wild.
Which was like the most popular thing.
I mean, the one thing, because I was there working the event, filming for IGN and for other people, and the one thing everyone was talking about within IGN and within all these other places, you have to go check it out. You have to go check out the gameplay footage for this game. You have to go check out all the footage and just the booth. The booth that they did was, again, it was greatly cool. Crafted. Did you get a chance to check it out?
I got a chance to check it out. The line was too long. I didn't play, but just the whole art direction of everything was incredible.
The atmosphere was amazing, and just how the amount they put into it, and just they at least for me, for the viewing, you would go in, they take you into the theater, show you some gameplay, and then set you up for all the photo ops that you could do through there. The other thing about E3 was also the discussions between what would happen. Would PlayStation bring in a console? Would Xbox bring in a new console?
Right. We know about Xbox. Their new console is the Xbox One S.
Yes.
Correct. Which they sort of showcased a little bit. What about PlayStation? Did they?
PlayStation. Nothing came in for PlayStation.
Okay.
So it was just again the Xbox One Slim or S, as we do now with our technology. And so, again, S stands for, it's slim, and it's 80% lighter and thinner. And so I was watching one of the videos, and basically what ended up happening is that one of the executives from Xbox took an old Xbox and put it over the Slim.
Sure, so you can see a comparison.
Right. Another big thing they also talked about was Project Scorpio.
Okay, that I don't know anything about,
Right.
so you'll have to fill me in.
Oh, I'll fill you in. So basically, Project Scorpio is a brand new Xbox console that's supposed to release holiday next year, 2017. And they had for the press conference at the Xbox, they did a whole cut together about a bunch of developers saying it's the fastest gaming console out there. It does 8 teraflops of graphic processing and all these buzzwords and stuff like that.
I don't know what a teraflop is, so there you go. It sounds like a bad terabyte.
Oh, goodness.
Teraflopped! What happened there? Yeah.
Close, kind of. And so they, again, there was a lot of kind of talk about that. I was like, oh, they announced it, but now they opened the door for Sony to, so Sony now they see the specs and they see what's happening. They could outmatch Xbox for next E3 and next year.
Got it. Speaking of, you're talking about the next thing coming around. Now, virtual reality sort of played a large part in E3 this year.
Right.
I got a chance to check out a couple of the VR things, like Doom at Bethesda.
Wow.
I did the adult VR, which was, whew.
Oh,
that was graphic. Oh,
Naughty America. It's funny.
Naughty America.
The
on Reddit, the first page. Yeah. Not that I know. Someone told me.
The first day I was there, I was walking around, and because where their booth wasn't exactly anywhere, and it wasn't even a flashy booth or anything like that.
Right.
And then the second day I was there, I did a walkthrough, and all of a sudden I just see this crowd gathered, and I'm
of men in their 30s just slopping.
and I go over them like, what's happening? And I see what it is, and I see this cutout of a girl in her lingerie. I'm like, okay, I didn't know that was cool here.
Yeah. So, but going specifically about VR, what do you
right.
project for the future? I mean, obviously it's around Capcom. They did the Resident Evil. They did a VR haunted house.
Oh yes.
Which sounds a little bit like a I don't know, kind of like a paradox in a way. And like, how could you have a VR haunted house?
I mean,
it's a huge sort of.
It is, but the thing is, the way the VR works here is that you basically have this thing on your head, and yet you're still moving through a physical space. So the VR knows where you are.
Yeah.
And so it could trigger things to happen. And so you'd be walking, and you could look to your side, and in theory, it'd be an empty hallway. But then, again, a Reaper or something could come out and scare you.
Wow.
And again, there would be nothing there physically in the hallway, but the VR glasses
Sure.
and how it interacts, and so you'd freak out. There were a lot of videos for some of the press people who got the early access to this haunted VR. And they just, it freaks you out because you just don't know. Is you're watching it, and you're so immersed because you can feel the walls that you see. And you can feel like the chairs and the other things that are there. And then you get scared and freak out.
Wow, well, I can't wait to figure out what the future of VR shows. So, Robert, thank you so much for joining us. We'll be right back after this short break. So, Robert, I hear as the showrunner, you kind of crack the whip around here. Is that true?
When I get mad, sometimes it gets ugly, unfortunately.
Yeah, for other people. In fact, we have a little bit of behind the scenes, some footage of what it's like to work on our show. So, why don't we check that out?
Ted!
Yes, sir.
I'm Robert Reaver, executive producer of Quiet on the Set. Things have been going so well for us that we decided to hire an intern. Can you take a message?
I don't have anything to write with.
Get us to Gary in the writer's room.
Yes, sir. Right away.
Hi, I'm the new intern, Ted. I'm going to film school, and I'm here on an internship program. I'm kind of here just for the easy A. Mr. Eber isn't going to see this, right?
Out of all the people that applied, we thought he was the best qualified for the position. Unfortunately, he was the only one that applied for the position.
Hi. You must be Ted. Garen, nice to meet you.
Hey.
What's going on?
Pitch meeting. Yeah. Oh, writers. Ted. Writers.
Hey, what's up?
Hey guys.
Yeah, I should have knocked there.
Yeah, sorry. I got a note here for you. What? Here you go.
Oh, Robert's asking me what in and out.
Oh,
You guys done
yeah,
with it?
definitely.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
Yeah, tell him we'll be there in like 20 minutes, let's say.
Yeah, I'll go let him know.
Alright, cool.
Yeah.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, no problem.
Oh, hey, Ted.
Yeah.
Just want to say, just thank you for being on the show, man. We really appreciate it. You know,
Thank you.
running around, I'm sure it's pretty hard.
Yeah. No problem. Thank you for the opportunity. I'll see you guys later.
See you later. Please close the door on your way out.
Yeah.
Alright. Let's bring on the Dark Lord!
4, 3.
Interns, remember to knock before you enter. Up next, I have an interview with former VP of Development, Mr. Dan Watanabe, right after this break. And we're back. Next to me is Mr. Dan Watanabe, the former VP of Development. Dan, tell me a little bit about your past experience, development, what were you working on, all that.
Well, I was VP of Development at the company now known as Fremantle Media. At the time I was there, it started out as Scotty Brothers Pictures, then it became All American Television, then it became Pearson Television, and then finally it became Fremantle Media. It took 4 name changes before they successfully pried me out.
And what are some of the shows that we can associate with Fremantle? Some pretty popular shows.
Okay, the show that I was specifically in charge of was Baywatch. Please don't hold that against me.
I will
But
not.
I was the current exec on that for 11 years.
Wow.
And I've got to tell you that there's nothing as nice as working on a hit show.
Yeah, not just any hit show. It was like the top-rated show of its time in the 90s. Is that correct?
Well, in terms of first-run syndication, it was one of the top-rated shows.
Wow.
And in terms of international marketplace, it was the most watched show on the planet.
Wow.
Now, okay, between us...
And everyone else
It was
live
a
watching.
little bit of a different world then, because at that time, the international marketplace wasn't necessarily a piece for the financial model for a lot of these TV shows. So the fact that Baywatch was just in every country made it unique in that way, and that's why it was the most watched show on the planet. Now that's common. Everything is shown everywhere.
Now, like, when you say most watched show, I'm assuming Baywatch, you got a lot of young guys like myself in their 20s, they're drooling over Pamela Anderson. That's the primary demographic, right?
Well, that's what we wanted you to believe. The truth was that Baywatch, even at its peak, was always far more popular with females 35 plus. That was always our core audience. And the number one,
or why?
it was partially because of the Hoff, but ironically, we had a lot of our female viewers tell us it was because it was the most egalitarian show on TV. Because if there was someone out there drowning and you had David Hasselhoff, Pam Anderson, Yasmin Bleeth, Nicole Eggert, or any of them, David Charvet, all of them, didn't matter which one was going to run out and save that person. They had an equal chance of being saved. You didn't necessarily have to have the brawny guy do it.
Cool. All right, so tell me a little bit about what you're working on now. I understand that you run a Grants, right? Why don't you delve into that a little bit more?
Well, right
When we
now...
dive out to those I'm going to stop the joke.
Okay,
Wrap.
well, like all development execs, as a development exec, you really have a 10-year shelf life. So after that 10 years, what ends up happening is you really stop being great at doing what you're doing, if you were great even to begin with. So you usually go into a different career. Either you become an independent producer, you become a studio executive, and you go totally strategic, or you go into academia. I somehow fell into academia.
Okay.
And so right now, I'm teaching screenwriting, I'm teaching the art of television, I'm teaching low-budget filmmaking, all of these things that I actually did in real life. So it's a lot of fun to kind of save people from having to learn the lessons that we learned the hard way. But I also run this grant, and I'm what's called a Deputy Sector Navigator. But let me give you my whole official title, because it took me a while to memorize it.
You have the word deputy in there. I like it.
Oh, yeah, but we were told, we were specifically sent a memo that we could not take pictures of ourselves with a Stetson hat or with a badge.
Oh, that's not worth it. Really.
But my official title is, and this is true for all of us, and there's a bunch of us around the state. My official title is California Community College Chancellor's Office, Department of Economic and Workforce Development, Doing What Matters Initiative, Information Communication Technology and Digital Media, Los Angeles Region, Deputy Sector Navigator.
I'm sorry, I spaced out there. Did you say something?
Yes. And no, it doesn't fit on a card. I actually have a card with part of my title on the front and part of my title on the back.
Wow. All right. You know what? In fact, speaking of titles, I understand that you're sort of delving back into the world of directing. Would I be fishing in some water there? In fact, I think we have a little clip that we can show you, a little film of something you've done. I mean, would you mind if we showed it right now?
Okay.
All right.
I don't know what you're showing, but I'm...
Why don't you take a look at some of Dan Watanabe's work? All right, I'm sorry about that, folks. We had a little technical issue.
I'm not sorry.
Sorry, not sorry, right?
Yeah, okay. Let me tell you what the backstory on that is. I've been teaching for 15 years now, and I've never had an MFA. And there have been jobs that have come up, and because of those jobs, I can't get them because I don't have a master's.
Sure.
And it's ironic because there's classes that I actually wrote, and they're part of the curriculum, and I can't teach them.
Oh, that's bittersweet. Yeah.
So the reason I can't teach them is I don't have my master's. So I went back and got my master's. I'm getting my master's right now.
Oh, okay.
And let me give as a warning to anyone. Please don't wait until you're 50 years old to get your master's. It is exhausting. You don't have the energy that someone your age has.
Right.
So, yeah. But it's fun. It's fun. And what this was everybody in my class had to do the same scene, and it's from a famous movie, so we can't really say what it was.
Yeah, I saw that was Step Up 3D. Right?
Exactly.
Oh, yeah, that's what I thought it was.
Or Terminator 2, right?
Yeah,
so, but really, we all did it. We all did it very differently, and it was a way of showcasing that everybody has their own directorial style. And I gotta tell you, in terms of me being a teacher, actually having to go back there and do this stuff in person with today's technologies, because I'm back from the day when we'd have a grease pen and we'd have a separate audio reel and we'd have picture that we'd actually have to cut and we'd have trim bins and all this other stuff, which no one today has to deal with anymore.
I'm still on grease pen. I don't even know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Work prints. You young kids, you young fellas, you got it all so good.
Yeah, this entire show is being produced on Snapchat right now. This is all one long snap.
Yeah.
So it's pretty remarkable. The camera's literally this big. So very cool. So anything else you want to promote or talk about before we...
Well, okay. Well, let's just talk about why you're here. Actually, Phil is part of what we do here because he's not just in you, first assistant. We're like, oh,
Exit. So thanks so much for being here. Dan, I really appreciate it. When we come back, our showrunner, Robert, will review Carl's Jr. versus In-N-Out Burgers. Stay tuned.
Hey everyone, I'm Robert Reber, and I'm here to talk about In-N-Out's Double Double Burger and Carl's Jr.'s California Classic. And so, to start out, I'm going to start with the price for these two burgers. For the In-N-Out Burger, it costs $3.70 for animal style, and the California Classic is $2.49, not including tax. And what's in both of these burgers, you have... Of course, they both have bread, they both have 2 beef patties, 2 slices of cheese, lettuce, tomato. Now, where they differ is that the In-N-Out Burger has minced grilled onions, and In-N-Out's patented spread, as well as pickles for the animal style. And for the California Classic, you have diced onions and Thousand Island spread. Or not spread, but Thousand Island sauce. And so... when I was trying out the In-N-Out Burger, it's a classic. It's one of my favorites, and the texture of it was great. Just how the cheese is melty and melts onto the burger, with the different types of onions. Again, the onions on this one are diced, so they're smaller, and when they were grilled, they felt like they were grilled all around, and they had a great caramelized, sweet texture and taste to them. And everything just kind of worked together where the lettuce was perfect, it wasn't too much. The pickles added this kind of little zesty, almost salty kind of taste to it. And so it was great. And so it was really delicious. And so then when I was talking about when I was tasting the California Classic, it was weird because it tasted like a lot of the different Carl's Jr. burgers that are already out there. One of my favorite Carl's Jr. burgers is the Famous Star with cheese, and a Famous Star is basically the same thing as this was, without one patty and just normal onions. And so the problem I had with the California Classic burger, not problem, but what I really didn't like was that the onions were a little bit bigger. Yeah, they were chopped up, but they were larger size onions, and it felt like the onions were even done all the way through. It's like they just took an onion and cut it up and threw it on there. They didn't actually try caramelizing it, or they didn't try actually doing anything with the onions. It was just, again, a diced up onion on the burger instead of it being a ring. And it felt like I was biting through it, and I could see how some of it was green still, and it made the texture of the overall burger kind of more chewy and more distasteful than I wanted it to be. Just also really quickly, the calorie count for each of these, for those who really care. I mean, they're burgers; they're going to be unhealthy either way, right? Depending on who you ask. And so for the In-N-Out Burger, it was 670 calories, as opposed to the California Classic, which is 620 calories. So for me, I'd always go with a double-double. You would say, oh, maybe the California Classic, it's almost $1 cheap. It's $1.20 cheaper. But it's not worth the $1.20. At that point, you might as well just get a Famous Star with cheese or something else off of the Carl's Jr. Menu. It just didn't taste that great compared to an In-N-Out burger.
That's our show for today. Thank you so much for joining us.
Wait, we're not done yet.
Yeah, no.
4.
That's our show for the day. Thank you so much for joining us. I'd like to thank our guests, Mr. Dan Watanabe and Robert Reber. So, if you liked our video, which I know you did, please remember to like it, share with your friends, and subscribe to the Unscripted Network channel. I'm Phil Biedron, and have a great day.
In 5, 4.
How to get home?
Yeah, I have my phone.
Cool. I'll see you next week.
Yeah, see ya.
Hey, man.
Oh, hey.
What's wrong?
Nothing, it's just work.
Not panning out.
Well, no, I mean, it has. I mean, I got the job. It's just, I don't know. I didn't want to move to Hollywood and become an actor that's a waiter. It's like, it's just so cliche.